We got a 94 Z71. Just old everyday driver truck. And it's got the old dreaded oil leak from the cooler lines onto the remote filter adapter. They came factory like this. As you can see, I got quite a bit of oil down here, so we're gonna try to do a little modification, fix this the right way instead of the GM way. So we'll get started. We'll get started by loosening those lines up, going to the radiator. I don't know if you can see them. And then I'll crawl under there and loosen lines up at the oil filter.
These? Yep. 4.
No, there's 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Yeah, 4.
Yep. Alright, so we're going to start by moving the skid plate. Got my son under here doing all that. We'll get that skid plate off. 2 bolts in the front, 2 in the back. Pretty simple. Alright, on that last one now, you're going to have to put one hand up there and kind of hold the skid plate. It's not heavy. It won't fall on your face. So just let it just sit down. That'll be fine. Alright, just sit it off to the side. Alright. Skid plates off. Alright, so next step I'm gonna take the oil filter off, and that's gonna be a mess. This whole job's gonna be a messy job. I just changed the oil on this thing too, and noticed how bad it was getting under there, so that's why I'm doing this job. So we'll get back with you whenever get all that off. Well, a fella hit a snag here trying to get the old oil filter off. It's down there somewhere. Because some dummy over tightened the oil filter last time the oil was changed, which is kind of weird because I'm the last one that changed oil. So anyway, went and bought this here thing. Try to get her off. Don't even waste your money. They slip and everything else, but I had an idea. I got started on it, but it's just a little hint. Yeah, you can see a little couple holes in there. But it's gotten late, and I'm gonna pick back up on this tomorrow and let you know how that goes. So we'll see you then. Take 2. Didn't have the microphone on. So anyway, where I was at with this thing yesterday, I had to get the oil filter off. So some dummy tightened the oil filter up too tight. I could not get it off. I tried what I had. Pair of channel locks, put a hole in it. So now, you know, it's got to be done. Don't really have enough room to jab a screwdriver up through it, turn it that way because the way the oil filter comes off the side of the oil filter adapter. The dry shaft and all that stuff's in the way down there. Went back to the auto parts store and I bought one of these little sheet metal looking sockets that I tested on a filter in the store and bought a new filter also. Felt good. Brought it back home. And something moving out there. Probably a cat. So anyway, brought that back home. Put it on there. Slips. So pretty aggravated about that. So had to think about what else I could do. I tried putting tape in here to make up the gap, and none of that worked. Washers, none of that worked. So, had an idea, thought about it, called it a night, went inside, checked out some more YouTube videos, and sure enough, another guy on the YouTube channel had the same idea, and he tried it. It worked. So, I'm going to try the same thing, and I'll get back with you and let you know how that turns out. Try to get y'all in here where you can see what I'm actually working on. So right up in there is what the oil filter attaches to. Oil filter screws onto, whatever. You can see I got the oil filter off now. I'll show you how I did that. And these lines going to it, I've got to take that brace down and get it out of the way. These lines, there's some kind of clip system. I've got to figure out how to get them out of there and unhook them, and then they run up to the radiator through some flex hoses that are leaking off. So I got a mess under here, so I'm just trying to get all that fixed. Brandon's America. Oh, oil ain't cheap. Plus, if the oil line goes out on me going down the highway and bust, I'm in a world of mess. This is my daily. I don't have brand new stuff. She's a pretty good little truck, these paint jobs. Got about 200 miles on her. Replaced the CV joints, about the only thing I've done to it. I have to replace the upper and lower ball joints eventually. But, yep, that's where I'm at. Let's go, Brandon. Alright, well, this is what I got. A mess, of course. But I got the oil lines out, the oil filter adapter out, getting ready to clean it all up. I'm gonna put these steel braided lines on here with the compression fittings that some people want to rag about and not use them on automobile applications or whatever. But these are swage lock fittings. They're about the best you can get. They're just as good as a flared fitting. I see a lot of people doing this modification with flare, using a brake line tool or whatever to flare the ends of the lines out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out where I need to cut these lines, and here take this rubber hose section out, replace it with the flex lines, which the flex lines are a little longer than my rubber hose section is, but I'll just cut the solid lines a little shorter wherever I need them. I'll figure that out and get back to you. That's what I do on that before I put it in the truck. Got to clean everything up. Got a lot of cleaning up to do. Got some brake clean, and you can save a lot of money, fellas, by buying this brake clean from Walmart. Whether you like Walmart or not. Super Tech, it's a lot cheaper than buying it at the auto parts store. Works just as good. And another thing, I got the oil filter off by using this stupid sheet metal socket thing that slips when you try to get it off if it's too tight. I'm sure it works fine if somebody don't over tighten it like I did. Drilled a couple of holes in it, self-tapping screw. I only used one self-tapping screw because I couldn't get in there with the other. It's probably a little out of focus, but you'll see what I'm talking about. You just drill a few holes in your little sheet metal socket thing there, adapter, and then try to get a self-tapping screw in it. Work like a champ. Work like a champ. So, like I said, I couldn't get hammer and a screwdriver up in there with that tight fit. So alright, so this is what I come up with on the lines. Got the connections, compression fittings, I mean. Got the steel braided lines taking place of where the rubber used to be. They're going to be a little bit longer than factory, but that's fine. I got plenty of room to hide them, route them, whatever. So what I found out is, it looks to me like the biggest failure point on these remote filters is not actually the lines. Mine seem to be okay. I mean, maybe leaking a little bit. But these gaskets, I don't think that's the right gasket. I don't know, but it don't look right. It didn't look like it was leaking around it. Really flat. This thing, brittle as all can be. So that's where it was leaking the most. So what I'm gonna do, take these two off right here. I'll show you what I got. And these are going to take place of these. This is what come off of it. Hope y'all can see all that. 3/8 thread, half inch steel line, and they're going to screw in here like this. And yes, they do fit. I got some Permatex thread sealant. Supposed to be good stuff. Highly recommend it. Put that on there before you tighten these down. And I'll get back with you. So that's where I'm at now. Trying to get this thing done tonight. Sure has been a rough and messy job, but anyway, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. One thing I forgot to mention, and I really didn't know, I bought this Dorman gasket kit. It's supposed to be for this truck, and I think it's got the gaskets also for the 4.3 liters. Because obviously some of those gaskets don't work, O-rings and all. Now, I showed you how the gasket just breaks up. Well, this gasket, it's a lot better. She's got some metal. It's like a metal ring there with the gasket material on both sides. So I'm thinking this might fix all the problems. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, and I'll get back with you and let you know. Also got the fittings into the filter adapter. Getting ready to go back in with this thing, try to get it finished up. So I'll get back with you. And another thing, fellas, when you're gonna do this job and cut these lines, do it the right way. Get you one of these tubing cutters. They're not very expensive. You can get them anywhere, you know, Harbor Freight even. I don't know where this came from. I've had it for years, but I've seen too many videos of people taking hacksaws of this stuff, and you get that metal shavings everywhere. You're gonna be lucky to get them all out. You don't want that going through your oil filter. So highly recommended. Do it the right way. You know, I got another one, tubing cutter here. It's got a broke blade on it. It's also got a reamer, so you know, you want to take off that sharp edge, might be a good idea. But when you do that, you're gonna leave some metal shavings, so you got to clean those up, but not near as many metal shavings as you would if you hacksawed it or whatever. Don't hacksaw them. Tubing cutter. Well, fellas, it's done. It was a pain in the butt. I don't know if I'd recommend doing this job unless you just got a lot of patience. I don't have a lot of it, but I managed to get through it. The hardest part is tightening up those connections there at the oil filter adapter. You just ain't got a whole lot of room getting there with a wrench, even. But I got them tight. I managed to work my way through it. Would have helped if I had a shorter wrench, 7/8, 22 millimeter. Either one would work. But both of them were just too long. So I fired it up. Just to look for leaks. I don't see any as of now. Oh, get it off these ramps, pull it up a little bit so I can shut the garage door tonight. Left it open last night. Kind of had to. So I'm gonna let it sit overnight, and I'll check it again in the morning for leaks, and then I'll do some of these lines. They're a little wonky. I'm tie wrapped up right now, and I don't know, that's probably just the way to do it. Anyway, yeah, there they are coming off the radiator, top and bottom one, routing around. I've got a tie wrap around it now, just for now, to get it off the pulleys down there, and like I said, I'll check for leaks in the morning. Try to go in here real quick and show you what it looks like underneath. I still got a lot of oil, but I'm gonna take it to the car wash as well. So let's see if I can. All right, there's. If it'll focus. But, there's the lines going to the oil filter adapter, and they were pretty hard to get to tighten up. Oh, that was the problem. Just getting them tight. Might could have tightened them up before I put the oil filter adapter up. I didn't, but maybe that'd be the way somebody could go. But anyhow, I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. Check back in the morning. Oh man, y'all have a good night. All right, folks. Well, I let her sit overnight, and I didn't see any leaks. It's hard to tell. I got so much oil dripped everywhere, but around all the fittings and all, they look dry. All my crimp connections, and if anybody was wondering, this is basically what you're dealing with right here. Is these they're swage lock. They got a ferrule. It's a two-piece ferrule. Sandwiches together, bites in hard. It bites in real hard on the. It bites in real hard on the line, and this is I didn't realize it. This is an aluminum line. Stainless steel fittings. It still should work. I'll just keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't leak. That's basically kind of what you're looking at right there when it makes the connection. And then when you tighten down on it, it tightens hard. Only thing that really concerns me is the aluminum line, but I think it's still going to work. I've used them on copper before. It works. So anyhow, it's pretty well complete. I've got you can see the lines coming out of the radiator. There's one crimp, and there's another one. With the one towards the bottom there, I was able to just take the steel radiator line all the way back to the oil filter adapter, and the other one I had to splice a little bit of line in, just like I showed you a few minutes ago, to make up the difference. Hopefully that won't be a problem. But, yep, she's really oily down there, so thinking about taking this thing down to the car wash and using their pressure washer to get all that crud out of there. I might do that later on today, and just keep an eye on it from there. Alright, I'm gonna do a cold start on my truck. I noticed before I did this work, sometimes this thing would actually knock when you first cranked it up. It'd take a while for the oil pressure to build. I mean, I say a while, a couple seconds, but still not good. So let's just see if that's any better now. Put them in here on the oil pressure gauge and see what happens. And yep, it jumped up a lot quicker than it normally did. I didn't hear any knocking. So I'm gonna call that a success. And, just like I said, keep an eye on it. Make sure no leaks pop up. So far, I'm happy with it. Good oil pressure for a truck with 205,000 miles on it. Yeah, it's a pretty good truck. Like I said, it needs some work on the dash. Yeah, all these old trucks, Dodges included, the dashes broke up. Something about the recycled plastics they use. Anyhow, that's another story for another day. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe to my channel. There'll be more stuff coming. And y'all have a nice day. I got to run to the store. See ya.